Let's head to the hotline right now. Bring on Grant Hall. We always appreciate a chance to talk with Grant on a Wednesday morning on halftime. Grant, good morning. We are at the Fort Smith Convention Center for the Tankersley Food Show today. I think we're testing the elasticity of both of our stomachs. How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, they had one of those things out at Pinnacle for the women's golf tournament over the weekend, that bite thing, and you could eat a lot of great food in a short amount of time. So, yeah, I wish I was there.
They just had this shrimp that we got, and it had like this perfect blend of like Louisiana. Did you taste Louisiana, Phil?
I sure did.
It was like a little spicy.
Sure did. There was some cayenne going on there, a lot of it.
I like a kick, yeah.
Hey, just for that, I'm going to have more shrimp at the Catfish Hole tonight.
Nice.
That's right. I heard they have Landon Jackson and Isaac Tesla there tonight.
Dude, two guys that just, they're showing out. Grant, what were your thoughts on Tesla and Satania? I thought those kind of both their better games. And Landon Jackson, I really thought it was his best game this season as a Razorback.
Yeah, probably for all those guys, and I kind of thought they'd bring Tesla tonight. But, it's another case of having more yards than the other team and the 3-0 turnover ratio there. What was it, 3-1, I think, in the Oklahoma State game. So, there you are. And this one, I was just looking at the series rivalry, guys. Arkansas has won 4 of the last 5 against Tennessee over a period of 18 years. Now, before that, it was pretty much all Tennessee. They lead, by my count, 14-6 in the rivalry. And, of course, there was there was that hotly contested Liberty Bowl of 1971 when Arkansas got the short end of SEC officiating, and then they lost in the Cotton Bowl. And I was thinking about those two games in 98 and 99. The Sterner stumble, and they lost, and Tennessee ended up number 1 in the country that year. And then 99, Arkansas won by the same score in Razorback Stadium, 28-24. I'll never forget, I was on the sidelines down there as the game was ending, and Bob White, who had been a good kicker for Arkansas, he's an attorney in Northwest Arkansas, he's passed away since then, but he looked at me and said, this game is going to be worth a lot over the years, And that was the night, my wife and I were on Dixon Street eating hours after the game, and we saw the goalpost being carried down Dixon Street, and we actually signed that thing. And I don't know where it is now, but hopefully the signatures are still on there.
You mentioned about the last 3 times that Arkansas has played against Tennessee. That was the time where Tennessee, just like Texas, was kind of going through it. In a way that Nebraska still is. Blue blood that's not playing like a blue blood, and went through just all that series of coaches.
Yeah, who was that coach after Lane Kiffin that wore the orange breeches?
Derek Dooley.
Yeah, oh my good. He was in over his skis like from the very beginning.
That's who hired Sam Pittman to be the offensive line coach there. Then he ended up at Arkansas with Brett Bielema. But it really, they found the right coach now. They have it going in a way, certainly in the last 3 years, that they hadn't had anything close to it since Philip Fulmer was the coach, and they do it in a way that they'll bruise you. For as physical as Auburn and A&M have been, Tennessee seems like they're that much more physical. Grant.
Yeah, and they've got a good quarterback, and Pittman really talked about this running back, Dylan Sampson. He said he's bad to the bone. He likes the center. Probably don't like playing against him. But the thing about this Tennessee team is that I believe they're way up there in rushing, like, 280 a game or something, and only giving up 40-something rushing per game. So that's a pretty good prescription. And Sam talked Monday about how, for example, the Arkansas tight ends are beaten up right now, partly because of having to go against 2 of the more stout defensive lines in the last 2 games. I don't think either one of them, I don't think Auburn or A&M are world beaters, but they did have good defensive lines.
What'd you get in? You watching the Major League playoffs yet? There's so much to watch. I know you're watching the golf tournament at the Blessings. You got college football to worry about. 4 Major League playoff games yesterday. You got a favorite in this postseason?
Yeah, I did watch a good amount of that yesterday, and I think when you look at San Diego's lineup, Phil, it's almost like an all-star team. Now, they've got Tatis back now, Machado and Profar and Jackson Merrill, who had, I think, 290 this year. And you just go on and on. There's hardly a weakness there. So I'm sure they're wanting to get back at the Dodgers if they get that chance. I would not like to see it happen, but I think that's a pretty strong team.
Would you? I need to get your thoughts on Pete Rose. That was obviously a huge topic yesterday, and it's not the kind of thing that you can just talk about for a day and leave there, because everybody's got some pretty heartfelt feelings about Pete Rose, both on and off the field.
I got to see him play, Phil, several times actually, and I remember seeing him down at spring training in '83 when he was with the Phillies, and with Perez and Morgan, but with the Reds, I saw him play a game one night, and maybe I've talked about this before, but he was playing left field, and he threw the ball with such force, he put his entire body behind it. He threw it to the plate on the fly. Did not have a great arm, and he ended up on his face after he threw the ball, and he either threw the guy out or prevented I can't remember exactly. I just remember the sight of his putting 100% effort into baseball, and I think I can separate his playing career from all the stuff that happened after that, and people can feel how they feel about it. But my thought, Phil, is that he probably will go in the Hall of Fame now, that he was not going to go in while he was alive.
Yeah, and I've kind of wondered about that, if that might end up not changing people's minds, but making those who were doing the voting feel like he's paid the penance now. I was heartbroken when Ron Santo got voted into the Hall of Fame and wasn't alive to see it. That was a guy who deserved to see his own induction into the Hall of Fame. You could say the same about a lot of the Negro Leaguers. But it does feel to me like if Rose gets into the Hall of Fame, where's Joe Jackson come into this too? Maybe we're going a little too far deep into it.
Yeah. Well, certainly people have their thoughts about it, but just on the field, he played the game the way the game was meant to be played, without the greatest talent. Just made himself into a career .303 hitter. A couple of quick things, guys. I don't know if you've mentioned these things, but John Daly's home in Clearwater, Florida, was pretty much destroyed in this hurricane, I read today. By the way, Clearwater is one of the most beautiful spots. We were down there for the Outback Bowl a couple of years ago, and I didn't realize that that had happened until today. And then, you guys talked about Jason Peters yesterday. This will be his 20th year when he gets into a game, his 20th NFL season.
Hold on, please.
And his nephew, let's see, this running back, Baton of Atlanta, Texas, if I'm saying that right, is a commitment to the University of Arkansas. So there you go. That extended family will continue to help the Razorbacks.
Women's golf's done really well at the Blessings. What is the tournament that's being played there? Give me some info about it.
They've had a collegiate tournament there for 5 years, and they bring in several SEC schools and some other ones. There are 10 schools there this week, men and women, and they play as a team. It's unique, so that the coach, the only time all year, gets to see all 5 of the players playing together. And so, for example, 2 days ago, Marine shot 65, and she hit the flagstick on 17 and ran her second shot over the hole on 18. Now, this is coming off a 10-under performance and a tie for 17th against professionals at Pinnacle. So I've seen her play 5 or 6 days in a row, and she's really, among other things, it shows her endurance, especially coming off that knee injury a few weeks ago.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, it's one day in, doing really well. Hopefully it'll continue at the Blessings. Grant, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you hopping on today. Thanks a lot for your time.
All right, don't eat too much. We'll see you guys.
Thanks, Grant.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.